I got you, man.
There it is. Hey man, technology. Jack, how you doing, Damon?
I'm good, man. How you doing? Where you at?
I'm in Arizona. I'm in Arizona. I live in New Jersey, but usually over the hiatus from Law and Order, we come out to Arizona. We got a little place out here. This is where Coco's family is, and I'm not gonna say I ran out of New York, but I had a chance to get out of New York and come here over this during this pandemic. And I thought it was a smart decision. So I was fortunate enough to be somebody who was able to move and come out here, and it's much safer than the New York City, New Jersey situation.
Yeah, how's the baby? I know we have two babies. I mean, for those who don't know, we have two. We started life over a little bit, and we have two babies who about the same age. It's the best time ever being able to cuddle and see her every single day, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, kids don't understand what this is. They,
Yeah.
we as adults, we have a problem putting our heads around it. So telling a kid to stay inside and not go out and all that, that's rough on them after a while. So out here, she has access to her cousins. She has access to a few more people. So it's better for her. But, every day's a blessing waking up with those little kids, man. It makes you understand why you did all this.
Yeah, and listen, I think both you and I are probably around the same age. Is it different now having a baby than when you and I had our first kids? Because how old are your first kids?
Hold on, let me adjust this because I
Yeah,
was see, I was trying to do this on my computer, and now I'm
no
on the
problem.
phone, so I have to readjust my. Um, well, this when I'm here, I'm more focused. My I had my well, let's start. I had my daughter when I was in high school.
Right.
So I mean, I was in the streets at the time with my daughter. When I had my daughter, I was actually still hustling. So
Hmm.
it was what they call presence over presence. I would buy her stuff. She always had the best sneakers, the coolest Fila, everything. But daddy wasn't around. I was in the streets hustling, and that was kind of my first kid. Then my second kid, Lil Ice, I was just becoming Ice-T. So once
Right.
again, I'm not in the streets, but I'm on tour. I'm running around, doing what new artists do. Now with Chanel, I'm there. I was there all through Coco's pregnancy. I went to the hospital. Chanel still sleeps in the bed with us, man. So this is like I'm on point with this kid, and I'm really at a place where I'm not distracted by the hustle, and I know that she's more important than the hustle at this point in my life. So
Yeah.
it's a great moment. It's a great time to have a kid.
I think when I reflect on it, I look at the same. When my first daughters, I was around 25 years old, and then Fubu was just starting to take off, and I was saying to myself, man, if like any parent, especially a responsible parent, I will sleep in a refrigerator box if I have to make sure this little baby has what they need. You know what I mean?
Right,
If
right,
there
right,
was a half a bedroom apartment, the mother and the baby can have it. I'm going to sleep on the street, right?
right.
And I was wondering, how can I work to give this child, again, like you said, presence over being present. And now it's, instead of how can I work to give this child, the better thing in life, it's how much love can
Right.
I give this child? And I think that is an absolute amazing part of, being a father or a parent at this age for me.
Well, the craziest thing, Damon, was for me, having a baby, like we say, in the second half of life. Muhammad Ali says when a man has a child in the second half of his life, meaning after 50, that it hits a reset button on his life. And I'll never forget the moment Chanel was born. You know what the first thing that came to my brain was?
What?
I can't die.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I can't die. And since then I've been more healthy. I've been in the gym. I started doing things that I wasn't normally doing to take care of myself. And I'm in great shape, right now. People are like, wow, you 62 years old. I'm like, yeah, and I can still bust your ass too. I'm boxing. I got my speed bag up and everything because I don't want to go nowhere. And I'm seeing these young brothers in their 40s passing away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, come on, man. We're not supposed to be checking out that early, man. We got a lot of life to live. So Chanel was like my fountain of youth, honestly.
Amazing. So I want to, and so that's a good point, good way to open up the whole thing about power shift. I was reading your bio. I did not know you were able to serve this great country of ours. And thank you for your service. And you know, on the fact that Memorial Day was yesterday.
Yeah.
What made you a kid from the streets? What made you want to serve our country?
A baby. Here we go. Back to the same thing. That was when I had my first daughter. So I was just coming out of high school. I've been on my own ever since I was 17 years old. You know, I'm an orphan. My mother and father passed when I was, my mother passed when I was in the third grade. My father when I was in the seventh. I was shipped to Los Angeles to live with an aunt, and that was not a great relationship. You know, I was just one of those kids sent to a relative that was like, I didn't really ask for this little nigga, you know, like I got him, and it wasn't a good place. So I left that house at 17 with money from Social Security, a little social, $250 a month. That's what I started with, Damon. People say I started with $250 a month, and I've never dealt with a living relative since. I had a little apartment, and I was still in the 12th grade, and I had an apartment. So that made me the coolest kid in the school. All of a sudden, you know, I had my own friend. But I got my girlfriend pregnant. I don't know. Now I'm, you know, living a life. I can do anything I want. And of course, I made that mistake. And I went to Trade Technical College for one semester trying to do auto body and fender because I always loved cars. People know I still have an affection for cars. And I just had to do something. I knew, you know, at the time I wasn't truly breaking the law, but I was touching, you know, crossing the line here and there and doing petty stuff. And that enlistment office was right there on Crenshaw Boulevard, right next to Magnificent Brothers. And it was calling me. And I was like, man, I got to do something for this kid. And I just joined up. I signed up for 4 years in the infantry. So, you know, I did it. I just did it. I busted. And I was very athletic back in those days because I was in gymnastics. To go in the military, you just need to have cardio. You need to have cardio. And if you're more of a jock, you'll pretty much make it. So I went in and, I did my 4 years and I came home.
Did you, in any of those experiences or those skill sets that you learned in the service, did you take that and do you still use those disciplines at all? Or how did you apply that to your success?
Absolutely. I'm still very military. Military is they have a way they operate, and it's very, very effective. You know, there's so many people working, but I can very quickly look on your shoulder and determine whether I have to pay attention to you or not. That rank is, you know, if you outrank me and you tell me what to do, I just got to do it. I don't ask you why. You're above me. That works. Right. You know, sometimes people are like, well, who are you? Are you my superior? Yes. See this? Do what I say. That's all based around the battlefield. You know, in combat, we can't be asking a bunch of questions, you know, but really just having a mission plan that you're gonna. I hear you talk about as far as business, having a plan and following the plan. So every day, like me and Coco will get up really the night before. I say, what are we doing tomorrow? And we'll plan out the day. And if our plans conflict, we talk about it the day ahead of time. And then the next day, we both know what each other are doing, and we just get it done. No one's popping up any ideas. So I'm very methodical with laying out plans and sticking to the plan. That's I got that from the military.
Did you ever realize you got that from there, or as it reflects on you, or because of course, you know, there's some people come out of the military and they don't use those skill sets and apply it, you know?
Everybody tells me that. They say, man, you like a sergeant, man. You know, you know, I adapt, overcome, improvise, man. You know, like, but it's all like being a hustler. You know, hustlers don't complain. They don't make excuses. They figure it out. That's what the military teaches you to do. You don't make an excuse. You figure it out.
Right.
It's like when I used to be with girls and I would tell them, I say, if I tell you to do something, just do it. Then ask me why later. If I say, Damon, sit down. Don't say why. Why? The brick just hit you in the head. You understand what I'm saying? Sit and then say why. I'm like, I saw the brick. I don't have time for full explanations at these points. Follow the instruction, then ask for it. Don't, and moving around in the streets, you got to learn that too. It's very similar. If I'm with you out and I grab you and I say, man, we got to go right now. You ain't gonna say why. You gonna say, I say we gotta go. Something's happening.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. You see the way people are moving, and you're like, yo, we got to bounce, right?
Let's bounce right now. And people that aren't familiar with that type of behavior, they can end up, casualties, so to speak. You know, so it's also now like being on Law and Order and being in the film business. You got to do your numbers. You got to be on time. You can't be late. Music is different than film. With music, you say, we're going to be in the studio at midnight. We show up around 1:30. Everybody. Yeah. If when they say be on the set at 7, if you're there at 7:10, 200 people are waiting on you. 200 people. And everyone knows you're late.
Yeah. So I love the way you keep it real, and I want to really home in on that, because I think that that's something that a lot of people don't do. They are not honest to who they are, and you would end up having a lot of flack, having a very great career, and then having a lot of flack. Obviously, cop.
Right.
You go on, you start doing stuff like New Jack City and Trespass, and you act, and some cats will say, yo, you're not real, you doing the fluffy stuff, and then you become one of the longest running cops, and we always talk about in TV history. And then also, whenever you put something out on Twitter or something like that, you keep it 100, and you say some crazy and you're still being represented. You're on a major network, and they allow you to do it. How do you power shift like that and go, I'm in the streets, cop, like the song, whenever I do this, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to play a cop. And oh, by the way, when I'm on this major network, I'm going to talk as much as I want. And how do you keep it real like that and stay consistent without, because I know you had to have flack.
Well, bottom line, even when I did Cop, I was acting. I ain't never no cops. You know what I'm saying? Right. So Cop song is me portraying someone who snapped and went after the cops. I didn't do that. The song wasn't Let's Go Cop. It was, I portrayed a character. A lot of times with music, especially with black music, they don't like to give us any credit for anything intellectual, anything that's above the simplest answer. Like, we can't be creative like that. Oh, he had to mean it. No. I didn't mean it. Now, as far as being a cop, when I first played a cop in New Jack City, I was very torn. I didn't know. That same year, I had an album called Original Gangster coming out. I was twisted. But my people, my boys, the homies was like, dude, you got a chance to be in movies, cuz. Like, we ain't breaking the law no more. You better be in that movie. Stop playing. I have no allegiance. See, this is the thing. I have no allegiance to crime. I broke the law when I had to. But I'm not somebody I have an allegiance to criminals. I'm not that person. I don't have an allegiance to police. So it's just me, and acting is, the first thing about acting is you're not going to bet to be yourself. Get rid of that. If you're on Shark Tank and somebody comes on there and says, hey, I want to be an actor and I can be me, you don't get the job. When you're an actor, if I say Damon act, you're going to be a school teacher. You're not going to be you. So that's the first pill you have to take as an actor. You're going to have to play other characters. But as far as doing Law and Order, who would ever thought, dude? 22 years? I'm like, my boys are like, yo, you're the greatest. That's the greatest scam ever played in the history of the world. Kaiser Sosa, you pulled it off. Like the worst guy, the guy that'll come in your house and tie up your family is playing the police. They like... and how I get away with saying, I'll use a term that you guys use in business. It's on brand. This is my brand. Now,
Right.
if Mariska said something I said, it would be a nightmare. But it's me, and I've been talking for 30 years, so it's
Yeah, yeah.
on brand. You know, when Snoop goes off and tells this, that, and the third, it's on brand. That's Snoop Dogg. So
And he gets a
certain
pass. He's up there cooking with Martha Stewart. You know what I mean? And yet smoking a with pimps and it's on brand. He gets Snoop gets the ultimate pass ever. He can do
right,
anything he wants.
and it's important for certain people to keep those that ability open. You know, like I never really like even when I would make my music, I would always do a nasty record. I would do a political record like Public Enemy, but I would do a dirty record because I always wanted to keep my circle open enough that I was able to be me. Because Ice-T is a very you know me, but I'm a lot of things. We could get social, political, we could get business, but we can also say, whoa, 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 she got nice. You know, like we as a man. I'm all those things. I'm not one of those things. I'm not like, oh, yo, gangster, gangster. I'm like, let's take Chanel and the babies out to go play in the park and let's go to the toy store and I'm gonna pick out more toys than her. Being 100 is truly being real with yourself. And the thing I like about you, Damon, is you're 100 to me. You know, when people see you on Shark Tank knotted up and they see you sitting up there, you know, doing your thizzle, I'm like, that's a street cat right there. I know Damon from day one when not his day one, but my day one when I met him, he's always been a street cat. And look at him. That's inspirational. For us to act like we not who we are, it doesn't help the youngsters that are the old us.
Right.
It doesn't
No, that's
help
real.
them. They think they're special. I'm like, nah, fool. I was sitting on the floor eating cereal too, you know, sleeping, pulling cushions off of the couch to make a bed on the floor. You can't tell me nothing. You know, I've done
Yeah.
it. Now I've elevated myself a little.
No, that's real. That's real. You know, but a lot of people should take that from him because, you know, so many people are trying to, especially with this day and age, this visual platform, so many people are trying to front and dress themselves as one way when, you know, we keep seeing everybody's sizzle reel on Instagram instead of their blooper reel, and they just don't keep it 100, and they think that that's helping them when it's not. It's actually hurting them because, you know, you're going to pull the skirt up, somebody's going to find out what's going on, and they're going to see right through you. And then what happens then? All that stuff you try to create, it falls to the bottom. You know what I mean?
My boy Ben Baller said the new generation is more concerned with looking successful than actually being successful. And I'm like, that's a jewel. I said, I was raised by OGs. A lot of y'all are raised by IG. And right now, we are on IG. So IG says, this is how you are a baller. You get the Lamborghini. But it doesn't say it's okay to rent the Lamborghini. It doesn't say it's okay to floss the fake jewelry. It's you said it exactly. IG and everything is a highlight reel of your life. You know, that moment when the sun is hitting you just right and you look your best, take that picture, you know, and just put them all together and say that's your life. I don't know, Damon. I really don't know. You know, as I try to connect to this, I'll give you a good example. My son was on IG. He's off of all social media because he said it was messing his head up, right? But he used to post pictures of money. You know how they do? So then he would call me and ask me for money. So I'm like, yo, didn't I just see you with 30 racks? Oh, yo, that wasn't my money, Dad. Da, 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 da. So then.
But what happens if that money's not there when they come for you? Because you were showing those racks. What happens?
But that too. So now he's in the business. He's in California. He's making it. You know, it's legal out there. He got his hustle up. he cut off his Instagram. I'm like, so you don't like to show money anymore? Well, now that I got it, I don't really want people to know.
What do we do, man? Listen, with two dads, and we got a lot of dads and moms watching right now, right? And I talked to one of my boys who recently became single again, and he's like 40 and change, and he's like, yo, these young girls, because of Instagram, they don't care about their bodies no more. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, man, I'm dating, and as long as I know that I can take a girl out to some place like Nobu and she gets to snap a picture in front of Nobu, he said, I'm running through them because they don't care. Again, they'll do anything for the picture. Where do we tell our kids in these days, man, about stunting and fronting, and how do you do that? What am I gonna do now? Because by the time Chanel and Minka is old enough, man, they're gonna be virtually going to places. They're gonna be home, and their hologram is gonna be in a bar or something like that. What the hell? What are we doing, man?
Dude, Chanel already got TikTok, man. Dude, Chanel's doing TikToks. It's crazy. I don't know. You know what? Who really knows about the future? I mean, that's the thing. People always say, well, Ice, what's going to happen in the future? If I said, well, if I knew, I'd go there and wait on everybody. I really don't know. I'm on this ride. I'm on this ride too. It's a different world. It's hard for you to explain what it's like when we didn't have it. It's when I used to hear the term generation gap, I thought it was bull until it happened. And then there's a generational gap, especially when you hip hop. See, I'm hip hop. In a hip hopper's brain, we're cooler than any kid because hip hop froze us in this time slot. It was such a powerful era that no matter what, I'm cooler than my kid. They ain't as gangster. They ain't been through nothing. Look, my kid grew up wearing Bathing Ape sneakers, $250 sneakers. He got picked up from the hospital in a Rolls Royce. At 15, he got in the clubs because I took him. So I kind of like we created the kids we hated, like our kids, because now we've obtained a little money. Now our kids aren't struggling like we had to, which we wanted, but now they're like the kids we used to hate. Like like
you can't give them adversity. That's the only thing you can't give them is adversity. You know what I mean? So, and like they always say, you give somebody everything, you make them the poorest person on the planet.
How about that? How about that?
Crazy.
So I mean, when my kids though, I try not to spoil them. I mean, they know I'm a life preserver, but I told them, I mean, I'm not gonna give you nothing. You're not gonna be rolling around balling off my money. That's not gonna happen. But if you need it, I'll always be there. So I'm there to save them. They gotta learn. They don't want to just have it handed out to them. That's corny. And yeah, it's hard, man. There's no easy solution. This dude hit me the other day on Instagram, no, on Cameo. And he was like, Ice, I need some advice, man. I'm going through the coronavirus thing right now. I lost my job. I lost this. I lost that. I don't have any money. What do I do? And I was like, dog, I can't even really truly answer that question, man. I'm not going to tell you to go out here and break the law. But at the end of the day, I know that this is a problem many, many people are dealing with. Fortunately, while I've been working, I was able to put a little money away for a rainy day. But, somebody was talking to me. You on Shark Tank, talk always about money. But lady told me, I was talking to my buddy Guy. Guy, right?
Yeah.
Guy was talking to me, and he's like, people are broke. And I'm like, he said, yeah, broke is if you can't make it a year. In other words, if your money, whatever you got stashed away, can't make you ride this out for a whole year, and you're going to be touching, and your bills aren't going to get paid. And I never really looked at broke like that. And I'm like, as much money as I spend, I might be going broke. I don't know. But it's one of those things where, people Some people have a cushion and some people don't. And during these trying times, man, you got to feel for people that are really going through it. And I
Yeah.
understand it.